Hey everybody, Sean here from BoredParacord.com, and today I'm going to do a design by a guy named Wes Grauer. It's called the Swirling Winds. So what I've already done now is I've already connected my two colors here. I've got 6 feet of royal blue and 6 feet of mint. Already connected them, joined them together by melting the ends together, and then I've already done my cow's hitch on the buckle. So what I want to do now is flip the buckle over and run all my paracord through my fingers. Oops. Get to the ends. These ends have already been flattened with my pliers so that they can go up through the buckle. You want to go from the bottom up. There we go. Get all the excess pulled through there. Now I'm using a 5/8 inch sleek buckle because this is going to be a little bit wider bracelet, so I want this to have a little bit wider buckle on there. Okay, we can open this up. And now where you want to measure from this edge here, right where my fingernail's pointing at. You don't want to measure these parts here because that's going to be inside of the buckle, so you don't count that. So you want to go from here up to the very end of the buckle up here. And I'm not going to measure this one, I'm just going to eyeball it. To start, we're going to use the Solomon. Oh, before we start, I want to give a shout out to Christian. Keep up all the good bracelets. We're going to start off with a Solomon or Cobra at the very top. So you got a loop going over the middle. Take your other color over top of that one, and then around the back and up through the loop. And then pull this tight. And that should do that. Alright, so this is going to be done in steps. There's a couple steps. It's not too bad though, it's pretty easy. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to create a loop like we would if we're doing a Solomon or Cobra. We're going to go down through the middle with the cord, just like that. So we're basically just wrapping around the center cord here. We're going to bring it up through the loop, and then just leave that like that for now. Do the same thing. Loop around, come up through the loop. Alright, now these colors are going to alternate on this step. So if you start with the mint on this side, you're going to go down through the middle with the mint, and then immediately come up through the loop on the left. And we'll pull this through. And you should end up with something that looks like this on the right hand side. Now what you want to do is the same thing. So grab the end of your left side. We're going to go down through the middle, and then immediately we're going to come up through the loop on the right. I'm just going to pull this through real quick. And then I'll get down close on this so you can see what we've done. I think it'll be easier for you to see what we're doing if I do it like this. So we'll do it like that. Alright. I know it looks hard, but this one's actually pretty easy once you get the hang of it. There you go. So, just to recap, you're just creating a loop right here, and then you're looping around. And then you're taking the end down through the middle and up through that loop. And then you're going to do the same thing on this side. You're just creating a loop on this side, looping around the center strand, and then you're going down underneath the first one here, and then also the center strand, and coming up through this loop on the right. Now when you do your next pass, instead of starting with this color going down through the middle, you're going to start with this color. So if you did it on the right side, whatever color is on your right side, that's the one you're going to go down through the middle first, because you want to alternate them. You want to go back and forth. Alright, so let me zoom out again here. And then you just want to start the task of tightening these up. So what I'd like to do is I like to push everything as close up to the buckle as I can. Now you're going to have these two loops. There's going to be a big one here and a big one here. Now you're also going to have two smaller ones here and here. You want to tighten this with these smaller loops so that you can pull the slack out of this bigger one. So you're going to use the small loops to pull the slack out of the big loops. Okay, so that's that one. We'll switch over to this one. Alright, so we got the slack out of both of the big loops. Or I'm sorry, yeah, out of the big loops. Now we have all the slack in the little loops, so we only have these two loops left. So you should be able to grab your working end and pull all that slack through on both sides. Now you may have a little bit of slack left, which is fine. You just go back and tighten all that back up. And this is where it gets a little time consuming, is tightening, but it's actually not too bad. And we'll get that one tightened up. There we go. Alright, so now you're back to square one. So now we're going to start with this side again. So create your loop. You're going to loop up through that loop, just like that. Same thing on this side. You're just going to go around the center strand. Alright, now here's where I said you want to start with the right side. So we're just going to grab the end here, there we go. We're going to take our right side down through the center and then immediately up through the loop on the left. Pull it through. Now this side, we're going to do the same thing. Down through the center and up through the loop. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. You want to make sure that you go down through it below this, because you want to make sure that you're underneath this first one. So go under that and then come up this part of the loop here, right here. And then we do the tightening. I know it seems like a lot for this, but it looks really good when it's done. I like this one a lot. He came up with a pretty good design on this one. Alright, so that's my little loop. So I need to get that one. And then we can pull the slack out. There we go. Alright, I'm going to do one more here. Create a loop. Wrap your cord around the center strand, come up through the loop. Do the same thing on the left side. Create a loop. Go around, up through that loop. So you should have something that looks just like that. Take your end on the right side, down through the middle, up through that next loop on the left. This one we're going to do the same thing, but you want to make sure you go under the center piece here. So down through the middle, underneath, behind the center strand, and then up through that loop. Push everything up. everything nice and tight. And you can see this is starting to get a little wide, so it's going to be a little bit wide bracelet, so make sure you use a bigger buckle if you got them. Alright, well, I'm going to finish this on up, and then I'll be back to show you how to cut the ends and how to finish off your bracelet. Alright, so I am now down to the bottom, and what I've done is I've put some fids on my cord. Makes it much easier to go down through the bottom of this where the small opening is at now. So let's do that real quick. Create that loop on the right. Get this situated here. There we go. Alright, so we got our loop on the right. And then we want to do the same thing with the left side. Create a loop on the left. Just like that. Take your fid down through the middle and then immediately through that loop. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Down through the center. Make sure you go underneath of that first one. And then immediately up through that loop. Oh, and this just looped around down the bottom. There we go. And then we want to pull our slack through. There. And let's see, we gotta come over here. Pull it that way. Alright, now we're working here. Just gotta get the slack pulled out. The hardest part about this bracelet is just making this so everything looks nice and tight. And it looks like the bottom of this is going to look a little different because you're trying to pull together these cords and they just don't want to go. So doing a little extra motivation here. There we go. I think we'll be alright. Alright, so now I'm just going to finish this off with a Solomon down here at the bottom. Kind of help flatten everything out a little bit too. Alright, I think that's gonna do it. Let me do one more here. Give me a little extra room to work with. Alright, so we're gonna do 2 Solomons down at the bottom. I wasn't expecting to do that. I really didn't want to end it with a Solomon. But it doesn't look too bad. It didn't really affect it too much. Still a great look. I really like this design. Alright, so we're going to just cut our ends. I want to do it leaving just a little overhang. Take the fid off of here. It just screws right off. We'll singe the ends here. It's hard to see in the video right now, but I am using the lowest part of the flame. That just keeps it from turning black. And I'll use a smoothing tool to give it a real nice, smooth feel to it. There we go. Perfect. Now if you don't have any needle nose pliers, instead of using the, or I'm sorry, if you don't have any fids, you can use needle nose pliers instead. It works pretty good. The cheaper alternative. You just have to put the pliers through the opposite way that you want the paracord to go. So if you want the paracord to go down through the middle, then you would have to put your pliers up through the middle and then pull your paracord down through. There we go. And we'll just smash that in there. Super smooth surface there. But there you go. That is the Swirling Winds by Wes Grauer. Hope you like this one. Keep them coming. And until next time, paracord on.